pelemahan yang terjadi di sepanjang perdagangan hari ini.
Apakah Anda memiliki perusahaan dan ingin mengembangkannya? Perlu dana lebih untuk ekspansi? Ingin kepercayaan lebih dari kreditur dan bank? Perlu peningkatan image perusahaan? Perlu strategic partners? Menghadapi potensi sengketa dalam keluarga pemilik? Butuh penerapan good corporate governance yang lebih baik? Go Public adalah solusinya. Mengapa Go Public? Dengan Go Public, Anda akan menikmati manfaat seperti akses pendanaan yang luas dari pasar modal, peningkatan image perusahaan, likuiditas dan valuasi saham yang menguntungkan bagi founder, peningkatan profesionalisme perusahaan, pertumbuhan dan kelangsungan usaha, peningkatan loyalitas karyawan, serta insentif pajak.
By the second quarter, the agricultural sector grew by 14.27%. XL Axiata recorded performance growth in the second quarter of this year. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you information from business, economic and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still going on, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. And please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. And with me, Fajar Wayong, this is Market Headline. Open up market headline. Agricultural sector keeps posting growth even in the midst of COVID-19 wave. By the second quarter of 2021, the agricultural sector has increased by 14.27%.
Agricultural Minister Syahrul Yassin Limpo said that the agricultural sector continues to improve. Data noted that the agricultural sector in the second quarter of 2021 increased by 14.27%. He also said that the exchange rate for farmers continues to increase from previously 99.47 to 103.59%, while business rate also increased to 103.88%.
Tren pertumbuhan PDB menurut lapangan usaha untuk triwulan 2 2021 pertanian masih tumbuh 14,27 Pak. Jadi seperti itu, ini menunjukkan bahwa terus kami tidak pernah kami minus, terus melalui pertumbuhan. Next, yang kedua, kalau kita mau lihat nilai tukar petani menurut data BPS ini juga terus meningkat Bapak, dari 99,47 kemudian naik menjadi 103,59 dan usaha juga naik 103,88.
Syahrul added the growth of the agricultural sector was also supported in increase in exports, which increased by 40.29%. He said that the Ministry of Agriculture would carry out Merdeka exports for 7 indoors nationally. This, according to him, shows the trend of agriculture export is still very open. From Jakarta, Rizka Ayu, IDX Channel.
The government estimates that the economic recovery in the third quarter will be more challenging. The Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati also said that in the third quarter, there will be pressure on consumption and exports. Therefore, growth will still depend on government spending and investment.
Minister of Finance Sri Mulyani Indrawati explained that the concerns in the third quarter are based on a number of risk indicators since early July. Consumption's performance is declining in line with people's less mobility. In addition, there is a risk of declining exports due to high COVID-19 cases in the export destinations country, which disrupt demand. This makes the government will try to encourage government spending in addition to increasing the stimulus to maintain the resilience of the industrial sector through a number of incentives, so that investment performance and fiscal spending is expected to maintain growth and opportunities this quarter.
Kemudian investasi dan ekspor selain pemerintah sendiri melalui APBN belanjanya itu semuanya sudah meningkat, sehingga momentum ini tentu akan tetap diharapkan berjalan dan bertahan pada kuartal ketiga dan keempat. Sementara mungkin downside risk-nya untuk kuartal ketiga terutama adalah delta varian seperti yang tadi disampaikan, karena delta varian nanti mempengaruhi di sisi demand adalah pada konsumsi yang sangat tergantung kepada mobilitas dan aktivitas masyarakat.
Sri Mulyani is also optimistic. Economic growth in the third quarter will be in the range of 4% to 5.7% of GDP. This is inseparable from the momentum economic recovery that has taken place in the previous period. Jakarta, Rajo Pamo, IDX Channel.
Meantime, the government is still optimistic that this year's economic growth ends in the positive zone. The government believes that economy can grow 3.7 up to 4.5% of GDP.
BPS has announced Indonesia's economic growth in the second quarter, which grew 7.07%. Although in the third quarter there was again pressure due to the second wave of COVID-19, the government remains optimistic that this year's economic growth will be better than the previous year. Coordinating Minister for the Economy Erlangga Hartarto is optimistic that in the fourth quarter, economic growth will rise again, and on an annual basis it can reach 3.7 to 4.5% of GDP. This is inseparable from efforts to encourage economic recovery through various fiscal policies and efforts to deal with the pandemic, even though it will sacrifice people's mobility.
Oleh karena itu yang kita lihat adalah apa yang harus kita capai dalam target di Q4. Kita masih melihat apa yang terjadi di Q3 dan terus melakukan penanganan terhadap COVID. Namun seperti dalam perencanaan dan tadi juga dipaparkan oleh Ibu Menteri Keuangan, pemerintah melihat bahwa Q4 adalah potensi untuk kita membalikan keadaan kembali. Dan kita memperkirakan di Q4 secara year on year, itu perekonomian karena kita punya tabungan di kuartal kedua sebesar 7,07, maka diharapkan angka 3,7 sampai dengan 4,5 year on year di akhir tahun itu.
Meanwhile, in the third quarter, the government indicated that there would be a slowdown in growth compared to the second quarter. Erlangga says the growth of the third quarter will depend on how quickly the case of the Delta variant can be suppressed. From Jakarta, Raharjo Patmo for IDX Channel.
And we're moving on to global update. Video sharing platform TikTok is trialing a new vanishing clips feature similar functions on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram. In meantime, the latest news come from Lionel Messi that will leave Barcelona, citing economic and structural obstacles to the renewal of the deal. And the complete stories on today's International Minute.
Amazon has told its U.S. corporate staff not to return to the office until the next year as COVID continues to spread. The online shopping giant previously asked staff to work from home until 7 September, but will now extend this until 3 January 2022. It comes as new COVID infections surge across America, with daily cases at an average not seen in months. Lionel Messi will leave Barcelona despite both parties reaching an agreement over a new contract, the La Liga club said on Thursday, citing economic and structural obstacles to the renewal of the deal. The Argentinian made no immediate public statement. Messi, who joined Barca's youth setup aged 13, is the club's all-time top scorer with 672 in a record 778 appearances. The Argentinian has been named the world's best player a record 6 times. Video sharing platform TikTok is trialing a new vanishing clips feature similar to functions on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram. TikTok stories will allow users to see content posted by accounts they follow for 24 hours before they are deleted. It comes as WhatsApp rolls out a feature for users to post photos or videos that vanish after they are seen. This week, rival social media platform Twitter shut down its fleet's disappearing stories feature. Australians living overseas could be trapped in Australia if they return after the nation's government tightened its border rules without notice. Since March last year, the country has banned its citizens from leaving the country as part of its COVID strategy. This restriction has not previously applied to Australians who usually live in other countries, but they will now need to apply for an exemption for outbound travel, in line with rules for other Australians. IDX Channel reports.
Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Jangan biarkan kota ini mati. Kita hanya diminta berhenti sejenak. Demi kehidupan, kita bisa lalui pandemi ini bersama. Patuhi protokol kesehatan 3M. Semua wajib pakai masker.
Hai Sobat Investor, kalian ingin tetap bisa menabung meskipun keadaan keuangan kalian sedang sulit? Dengerin tips berikut ini ya. Kita masuk ke tips yang pertama ya. Nah, yang pertama, kalian harus memenuhi semua kebutuhan rutin kalian terlebih dahulu nih. Barulah setelah itu kalian bisa mengalokasikan pendapatan kalian untuk memenuhi kebutuhan pelengkap lainnya. Kita masuk ke tips yang kedua ya Sobat Investor. Jadi penting sekali bagi kalian untuk menutup hutang sesuai dengan kemampuan kalian. Selain itu, kalian juga perlu menentukan utang mana yang harus kalian dahulukan untuk dilunasi. Selain itu, penting juga untuk selalu menyesuaikan dengan uang tunai yang kalian miliki. Tips selanjutnya yaitu tips yang ketiga. Jadi kalian penting sekali untuk menekan biaya bulanan nih Sobat Investor. Jadi kalian juga memang harus memangkas kebutuhan yang memang sifatnya hanya pelengkap saja. Dan penting sekali bagi kalian untuk mempertahankan biaya bulanan yang sifatnya memang untuk kebutuhan utama kalian. Tips yang keempat terkait dengan pengelolaan aset. Jadi jika ternyata penghasilan yang kalian miliki ini tidak bisa menutup kebutuhan kalian, maka kalian bisa mempertimbangkan untuk menjual aset yang kalian miliki. Tips yang kelima, jangan lupa sisihkan sekitar 10% dari penghasilan kalian untuk ditabung di tiap bulannya. Dan saat keadaan keuangan kalian sedang sulit, tidak menjadi alasan untuk gagal mencapai impian. Jangan lupa ya, harus selalu rajin dan juga disiplin dalam menabung Sobat Investor.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Industry revealed that the cosmetics sector grew significantly in 2020. This can be seen from the growth performance of the chemical, pharmaceutical, and traditional medicine industries, as well as cosmetics, including them, which grew 9.39%.
The Director General of Small, Medium and Multifarious Industries in the Ministry of Industry, Gati Wibowo say that the sector contributes 1.92% to the gross domestic product. In fact, in the midst of the pressure of COVID-19 pandemic, the manufacturing group was able to make a significant contributions from foreign exchange through the achievement of its export value, which reached $317 million or 4.44 trillion rupiah in the first semester of 2020. It went up 15.2% compared to the same period of the previous year. The pharmaceutical, traditional medicine industries, including cosmetics, are expected to continue to be encouraged to use local raw materials. because Indonesia has a comparative advantage compared to the countries producing herbal products and other natural-based cosmetics such as China, Malaysia, and Thailand. IDX Channel reported.
Yes, viewers, whenever I open my social media, there are so many contents creators using words like glowing, on point, flawless makeup. Well, yes, Indonesia, with a population of more than 260 million inhabitants and rising consumer spending power and awareness of health and beauty care, offers a promising market for cosmetics companies. The Ministry of Industry also pays great attention to the small and medium industry of cosmetics and wellness products. Therefore, in this segment, I would like to present you the highlights of beauty industry, starting with highlights of cosmetics and beauty industry in Indonesia in the first graphic. So in the first graphic, we can see the highlight of this industry. In revenue projection in 2021 is projected at $7.5 billion US dollar with 7.2% annual growth rate. Quite good number of cosmetics and beauty industry in Indonesia. The beauty and personal care product market in Indonesia is a large and growing market that every exporter should consider. Revenues are projected to reach $7.5 billion US dollar in 2021 and grow at a 6.5% compound annual growth rate through 2025, according to Statista.com. Long-term trends have been driving growth include greater financial independence for working women, greater interest in natural and organic products among the youth, and greater attention to grooming by men. How about in terms of market segments? Let's see the next graphic. So we can see the segments of beauty industry in Indonesia. Personal care, 3.2 billion US dollar. The second segment is skincare, 2.1 billion US dollar, and fragrance, 0.4 billion US dollar. And overall, imports accounted for $1.4 billion US dollar in 2019, with imports from the US accounting for $103 million, according to the United Nations Comtrade database. The top 5 US exports to Indonesia are cosmetics ingredients, essential oils, shaving products, makeup and skincare products, according to the US Bureau of the Census. US exports to Indonesia grew in 2020 despite the pandemic, led by increases in exports of shaving products of around 11 million US dollar and essential oils of around 3.9 million US dollar. The next question is, how about in the midst of the pandemic? The answer is in the next graphic. So we can see the chemical, traditional medicine and cosmetics industries in 2020. 9.39% growth, 1.92% contribution to GDP, and 1.4 billion US dollar export value. The data is taken from Central Statistics Agency. So in fact, in the midst of the pressure from the COVID-19 pandemic, this manufacturing group was able to make a significant contribution to GDP of 1.92%, with its export value reaching 1.4 billion US dollar. Growth, disposable income levels, and the construction of new shopping malls and department stores has created opportunities for cosmetic industry to directly reach out to appliance customers. Approximately 15% of Indonesia's 270 million people are considered to be mid to high income earners who are willing to pay for well-known imported brands. And the pandemic in 2020 greatly accelerated the use of e-commerce using websites including Tokopedia, Shopee, and Bukalapak. E-commerce suits consumers who work from home and become more price conscious. The trend is expected to continue due to the convenience of having things delivered. We have done talking about Indonesia. How about the global level? Let's see the next graphic. So we can see the global cosmetics growth in 2016, 4%. 2014, it was 4.9%. 2018, 5.5%. 2019, 5.25%. And 2020, in the midst of pandemic, it was minus 8%. But the good thing is, Statista's research projects that the beauty and personal care market in the world will grow by around 6.46% in 2021. This condition is strongly driven by online sales, which will reach 25.2% this year. Meanwhile, the United States is the world's largest cosmetic market, with revenues of $92.9 billion in 2019 and an annual average growth of 0.5%. China came in second with $69.2 billion in revenue and an annual average growth of 10.8%. And yes, viewers, there is still big room open for Indonesia's beauty industry. Indonesia's cosmetic industry remains strong and attractive for both domestic and foreign investors. Therefore, we hope this sector is developing at a solid pace. And of course, stay tuned on Market Headlines. We'll be right back after this break.
Nantikan Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021. Segera. Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. New Screen Morning menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. New Screen Evening mengulas seputar ekonomi makro dan mikro, fiskal, moneter, dan sektorial Indonesia. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris. Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic, Business, and Capital Market Channel.
Ya halo pemirsa, nama saya Mangivera Tjong. Saat ini saya menjabat sebagai presenter dan juga associate producer. Saat ini saya membawakan program IDX Session Closing, di mana di program tersebut saya menganalisa isu-isu ekonomi yang menarik, baik dari luar negeri maupun juga dari dalam negeri. Tentunya hingga saat ini saya masih terus belajar dan saya sangat menikmati profesi tersebut.
Jadi dari kecil aku mulai bercita-cita untuk jadi pelaut, kerja di dekat laut, bisa memperkenalkan keindahan laut ke orang-orang.
Oke, luar biasa.
Perusahaan digital diprediksi masih menghadapi potensi gulung tikar hingga akhir tahun 2021.
Analisanya mengenai hal ini seperti apa, Pak Andito?
Ini haruslah punya perspektif yang kesana, melihat yang jangka panjang. Nah,
Welcome back on Market Headline. At the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 6,223.83. And then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,197.83. And then the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at the level of 6,203.43. In short, JCI went down 0.03%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got technology as the leader, strengthening trend that went up 3.16%. Industry went up 1.09%. And we got finance as the leader, weakening trend that went down 0.86%. And health went down 0.52%. And moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. BBEB went up 5.96% to the level of 1,600 rupiah per share. BABP went up 17.31% to the level of 610 rupiah per share. BHIT went up 1.82% to the level of 112. And MLPL went up 12.73% to the level of 620 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBRI went down 2.96%. MTech went down 4.41% to the level of 2,600 rupiah. BBCA went down 2.22% to the level of 30,800. And BBKP went down 6.3% to the level of 595 rupiah per share. And next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,370. Rupiah was closed at the level of 14,337. In summary, rupiah went up 0.03%. XL Axiata recorded performance growth in the second quarter of this year. The company obtained 8% revenue growth and a net profit of 395 billion rupiah. XL Axiata again recorded performance growth in the second quarter of this year. In the April to June 2021 period, XL's revenue rose 8% compared to the first quarter of 2021 to 6.73 trillion rupiah. As a result, XL's total revenue during the first semester of 2021 reached 12.9 trillion. In the second quarter, XL also posted a net profit of 395 billion, an increase of 23% compared to the previous quarter. With this, the company's total net profit reached 716 billion rupiah in the first 6 months of 2021. This positive achievement is inseparable from the sales success and traffic increase that XL achieved throughout the last Lebaran period. During the first semester of 2021, XL's total service traffic increased by 33% year-on-year to 2,963 petabytes. IDX Channel reports. Supported by positive performance in the first quarter of 2021, Aneka Gas Industry is optimistic that it can achieve sales growth of 10 up to 15% this year. Supported by positive performance in the first quarter of 2021, Aneka Gas Industry is optimistic that it can achieve sales growth of 10% up to 15% with a net profit margin of around 5 to 7% in 2021. Referring to the company's interim financial report, Aneka Gas Industry's net sales in the first quarter recorded an increase of 18.04% to 642.7 billion rupiah in the first quarter of 2021. Meanwhile, in terms of net profit, it also increased by 160.21% to 49.36 billion rupiah in the first quarter of 2021. Meanwhile, management say that it still has not revised its sales target for this year and will continue to monitor conditions in the second half of 2021. IDX Channel reports. Cosmetics and herbal supplements producer Mustika Ratu continues its global market growth, and this time it is penetrating the Middle Eastern and Russian markets, the company announced in a recent statement.
The expansion marks quite an extraordinary feat for Mustika Ratu, considering that the global economy is still struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic. And with the current back-to-nature trend, Mustika Ratu products are attracting global interest. So far, Mustika Ratu's foreign markets include Canada, the US, Czech Republic, Suriname, Oman, Iraq, and Taiwan, and 20 other countries. As for this year, Mustika Ratu is promoting its slimming tea, personal care, and herbal supplement in the Middle East and Russia. This illustrates how the global market is a very welcoming of natural products with a touch of local wisdom. According to Mustika Ratu President Director Bingar Edidius Situmorang, said that the company is eyeing the halal beauty products consumers in the Middle East. This suits Mustika Ratu product line, which have earned halal certification and is made from natural ingredients. IDX Channel reported.
And step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation. Here is an update data about coronavirus globally. The news closes our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, keep protecting your family by following the health protocols, wearing face masks, keep your distance, and stay away from crowds, and wash your hands through running water. and also continue to support the vaccination program to accelerate the creation of herd immunity. I'm Fajar Wayong. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Melalui Bursa Efek Indonesia adalah lompatan besar menuju transformasi pertumbuhan perusahaan. Bergabunglah dengan ratusan perusahaan yang telah berkembang pesat dengan Go Public. Go Public, lebih baik.
Pemirsa, ketemu lagi di Ala Resep Juna. Bersama saya tentunya, Chef Juna sendiri. Pemirsa, banyak sekali bahan-bahan makanan yang udah ada di sini. Saya tidak bisa menjelaskan satu persatu karena saya masih belajar. Saya tidak tahu apa saja yang ada di sini, pemirsa. Tapi yang pasti, hari ini kita akan memasak kreasi yang tentunya beda dari episode-episode sebelumnya. Dan dengan saya di sini, Chef Juna, pemirsa akan melihat kreasi-kreasi makanan atau masakan yang tentunya mungkin pemirsa belum pernah lihat sebelumnya juga. Sebelumnya saya akan mengajarkan pemirsa bagaimana cara untuk mengiris tomat. Ingat, Anda harus menggunakan pisau. Jangan pernah menggunakan garpu, karena nggak bisa dipotong kalau gunain garpu. Dan tentunya saya... Pemirsa? Apa kabar pemirsa? Chef Juna?
Ngapain di situ?
Gue bantuin, ini kan tadi katanya mau masak ini apa namanya, harus pakai tomat, ini gue motong-motongin doang, kayak gitu.
Kayak laga-laga Chef Juna tadi?
Enggak, kata siapa? Nggak mungkin banget Chef Juna. Chef Juna tuh cuma ada satu di dunia ini, nggak mungkin ada yang bisa nyaingin. Nggak ada ala-ala begitu. Ini mah gaya Gilang sendiri, begitu, Chef. Ini buktinya nih.
Itu kenapa tangan?
Tangan? Kan biar sama gitu kalau Chef Juna.
Berarti ala Chef Juna?
Enggak, beda maksudnya gitu kan. Kalau Chef Juna kan tatonya bagus, tapi aku juga punya tato tuh. Ini di sana.
Siap.
Ini tato. Tuh, kan Chef? Keren nggak Chef?
Boleh.
Boleh ya?
Boleh.
Baik bener dah. Lu jadi nggak enak.
Aduh, mau motong apa? Tomat? Oke. Jadi, boleh. Silakan campur aja sana.
Oh, nggak apa-apa, campur aja.
Apa?
Oh, ya udah. Baik bener dah. Saya ngeri, serem. Bisa kulit singkirin kali ya, bahaya nih.
Boleh, boleh. Jadi, masak apa kita?
Terserah Chef Juna aja.
Oh gitu. Oh, buset. Nah, siap. Mau ngapain?
Udah pulang aja, Pak.
Iya, jangan dong.
Terserah.
Makan, bantuin makan.
Bantuin makan? Ayo kalau bantuin makan.
Jadi,
kalau bantuin
apa namanya, jadi kelinci percobaan.
Jangan dong. Jadi, iya.
Jadi kita gini, kita mau masak simple ya. Jadi kan mau bikin rujak cingur nih. Asli Surabaya kan?
Saya? Aslinya saya Indonesia.
Oh gitu.
Tapi saya berasal dari Sumatera Selatan.
Oh, salah dong.
Iya, salah.
Maaf ya.
Gak apa-apa, tapi saya cinta orang-orang Surabaya.
Oh gitu. Kayak pengalaman
Juki-juki. Jakarta, Surabaya. Juki-juki. Saya cinta.
Siapa tuh?
Itu. Ada itu lagunya. Lagunya gitu. Kereta Malam, kan dari Jakarta, Surabaya. Hai.
Oh, sampai gondek dia ikutan gijek-gijek.
Bener.
Alright. Kita mau buat rujak cingur.
Ya.
Tapi karena nggak dapat hidung, kita pakai lidah aja ya.